Hello and welcome back to Teacher Kenny's English for Everyone. Hope you've been doing okay. Hope you're studying English and looking at all the resources out there and watching my videos, and hope you're doing good with this English. English is learning any language, mastering any language is just not so easy. For a few people maybe it is, but most of us, not so easy. I thought on today's video I would share some things that I always worked with my students about, trying to improve their English. There's lots of misconceptions out there when it comes to learning a language, and I just wanted to try to give you some hints, some tips, the things that you really need to do. Remember, most of my emphasis for you is going to be on listening and speaking, and yeah, we're going to do some grammar and all these kind of things in the upcoming videos, but there's just so much that you got to prioritize and you got to learn to use with your English. So I got a little list of things that I need to talk to you about, and we'll do some videos on this stuff also, okay? So, but today is just kind of, I'm listing out some things that you need to do. The very first thing that you have to do with your English is probably slow down. Lots of people, lots of countries, and all this kind of stuff think if you are speaking a language fast, you are fluent. And that is not the truth. Speaking fast just means you can speak fast. And probably when you speak fast, we can't understand a thing you're saying because of your country's accent. I've talked to lots of people. Usually, I taught in China for a long time. I've got lots of friends in Bangladesh and India. And sometimes, and I'm a teacher, and I can't understand a word they're saying, even though they're trying to speak English. You have to slow down and mimic, copy, shadow, and I got the video on shadowing out there that will help control your accent. But the first thing to do is not try to speak fast. Even us native speakers, we don't really speak fast, and you need to watch those videos I have on linking and things like that so you understand how we do what we do. And that's a whole other thing. But for one thing, control yourself. Listen to native speakers, mimic the way they speak, slow down and get it right. Remember, your goal, English, it's a communication thing, right? We're wanting to talk to each other. But your goal, speaking, is to be understood. And if I can't understand you, that means it just means what it means. I can't understand you. So let's work on that. The next thing I want to talk about is basic grammar only. Almost all mistakes in writing and speaking come from the misuse of basic grammar. And when we talk, when I'm talking to you, when I'm talking to my mom or whoever it is, I'm not trying to impress anybody with fancy words. I'm not worried about high-tech grammar. It's always the basic stuff, the I, me, mine, you, yours, they, them, all that kind of stuff, the basics. And And that comes into this thing too, where you need to understand first person, that's me, second person, you, third person, everybody else. You need to learn the language of first person, second person, and third person. And your speaking will improve greatly. Learn to get it right. Learn to get those basic things, guys. It's just like playing basketball. You have to dribble before you can fly down the court and slam dunk, right? So if you get the basics right, everything else is easy. Okay? I'm looking at my little list here. I got some things I had to get out there. Another thing too, listen as much as you can take. Listen to the news if you can understand the news. Listen to audio books. Listen to as many videos as you can. Whatever. The more you immerse, the more you listen to the sounds of English, the easier it gets. Because the more you listen, you'll be able to say, oh, Teacher Kenny is an American, or Teacher Betty is from England. You'll start to recognize the accents, things like that. So listening is probably the most powerful tool there is, and it affects your speaking. Okay? So listening, the very first thing I would say is listen before you ever do anything else. Just like when you were a child, you listened to mom and dad and grandma and all this stuff, then you started speaking. It's no different for you learning English or me when I was learning Chinese or whatever. Listen. Okay? That's a big deal. If you can find, and we're going to do a lesson. I'm going to show you a really cool listening and reading exercise dealing with a website that I use. That's coming up in another video. Short stories, anything you can find that you can read that helps you with time. And that's another thing. Of all the English study you will do, you will find out that English people are obsessed with time. The English language is obsessed with time. And when you speak to me or anybody else, if you get the time wrong, the past, present, future language, it makes it really difficult. Now we can figure so much of it out, but you need to become as familiar as you can with the language, the words, the vocabulary of past, present, and future. If you master that basic stuff, guys, your English will soar, I promise you, but you got to walk before you can run. So be aware of time, and I got some really cool little videos that we're going to do with time also coming up. Like I said, today's a generalization of what you need to be aware of. Let's see, short stories. Oh, yeah, this is big. This last one that we're going to talk about is big. Do not study from translated materials. And if you're one of my Chinese friends watching, you really know what I'm talking about. But so many books are out there trying to teach foreigners to speak English, but everything's being translated. You know, if you're from Mexico, you know, your teachers or whoever's making the books or whatever, they're just translating from English into your language. Just like when I was in China, you got all these people out there, they're trying to make $1, they're trying to make a book fast, and they just translate it. And guys, translation rarely works word for word. And you need to be looking at real English material that is not translated. You need to find newspapers, magazines, books that are real English. Now you understand this, because when things get translated, things get lost in translation. The intent might be there, but the wording can be really bad with translation. And then if the wording is bad, that means the grammar is going to be bad. The past, present, future can be bad. Things like that. If you're following what I'm getting at, it's just too easy to mess up and mess you up using translated material. So you find some way to get your hands on the real thing. And it's out there. And watch video. And if you can get YouTube and good websites that we're going to talk about in other videos, use that stuff, because those are real English people. Those are real English-speaking people, okay? But anything you read, make sure it's not translated. So, anyhow, speed kills. Slow down. First, second, third person. Learn that really good. Learn time, past, present, future, the language of it, okay? And your English is going to get better, but just take one step at a time. You can't do it all in one day, but make yourself a better student of English, okay? So anyhow, that's it for today. Just wanted to run some little tips by you. Then we're going to break some of this stuff down in some upcoming videos so you can really see it at work. Okay? So you have a great day, and we'll see you on the next lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to my videos, my channel. And don't forget, up in the corner, I have some links to some other resources. If you look up across my YouTube banner, you'll see some links. And one of them goes to one of my grammar books. So anyhow, you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? Have a good day. Bye-bye.